So Kodim Kol Baruchim Habayim B'Shem Hashem. It's a great way of fitting. So good afternoon, Congressman Fine. Tremendous advocate for the Jewish people and the Jewish nation. Distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, and partners in the vital work that Tzedek does. It's an honor to be here with all of you today. It's a tremendous historic building, Union Station, a bustling station, and it's a place where many journeys intersect. And in a way, it's very fitting that a gathering that's celebrating Tzedek Association and Tzedek Association, which itself, it's a place where many journeys meet, journeys of hope, journeys of rescue, justice, an incredible organization. I stand before you here today as the nominee awaiting Senate confirmation to be the United States Special Envoy and Ambassador at Large to combat anti-Semitism. It is a role that carries a very, very solemn weight, considering the history of the Jewish nation and the urgent demands of the moment that we live in today. Every day, I confront anti-Semitism. And every day, it's not an anti-Semitism of the past. It's an anti-Semitism that is rooted in the reality of today. It's in a very loud, in a very brazen, and in a very upfront manner, and in a way that we all thought after the Holocaust we would never see in our future. We see it every day in the violent attacks against Jews, in the streets of major cities. We see it in the universities. We see the intimidation on campus. And we see it in the online hatred on computer and in spaces that people have now taken the liberty to spew hatred. And the ability of the internet is to make this hatred go viral and be spread throughout the globe immediately. You see it by the use of terrorist groups that make their intentions to kill the Jews unmistakably clear. And yes, for those of you that live in predominantly Jewish neighborhoods, when visibly Orthodox people and Hasidic people, men, women, are attacked simply because they look like they're Jewish, they're punched, they're beaten, they're shoved, simply for walking to a shul or going about their daily lives. It's unfortunately all too common in places, whether it be Brooklyn, Muncie, Miami, LA, and many Jewish communities all across America. Let's be super clear. Everybody in this country has the right to be safe and practice their religion. President Trump has made it clear by virtually every action that he's done to make it clear that every American and that no person anywhere should feel by the way they dress, by the way they look, and the way they live their faith, that it should allow them to be a target for hate and violence. as the nominee, which is truly a historic position, that in the State Department that there's an Orthodox Jewish ambassador and an ambassador at large, no less, I want to make it very clear that around the globe and not just in America, that President Trump, Secretary of State Rubio, and the staff of the administration, it has the back of the Jewish community. Together with my colleagues in the administration and the responsibility of my office, and because of the way I was brought up in a Hasidic house, my Zayde was one of the first shluchim of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and he spent his life being mechanech people in New Haven, Connecticut. I walked the streets to shul with him, and I still remember the cries of dirty Jew or a rock being thrown. It is my personal mission, and the mission that the President entrusted me with the words that you're responsible for every Jew in the world. It's not taken lightly, my friends. My mission is to ensure that the United States is not just a safe haven for Jewish life, but a force that defends the Jewish community around the world. It requires many of the things that you're involved with at Tzedek. It requires speaking the truth to power, to build coalitions, to work across nations, and to confront hate wherever hate appears, whether it is from the far left, whether it is from the far right, radical ideologies that cloak themselves either in religion or in politics. In fact, as the President himself has stated, we have to protect every Jew worldwide. We need to work tirelessly to build peace, and we have to commit ourselves to education, because fighting anti-Semitism shouldn't be only responding to hate. It is about showing the world who we are as a nation, Am HaNivchar, the best of who we are as a people. It's educating the world to the greatness and endurance of our faith, of our traditions, and that is where all of you here and the Tzedek Association comes in. Tzedek is a forefront, and it stands at the forefront of this effort. You don't talk about it, you walk the walk of Jewish values. You live them. And by living them, that is the greatest message. That is the message that will always show that the very foundation of anti-Semitism is unfounded and has no basis in reality. Many of you in the room are not aware that when the Taliban seized control in Afghanistan and lives were on the line, Tzedek helped organize emergency evacuations. Jews and non-Jews, over 1,300 in total, were brought to safety. Those actions showed the world that we don't ask what religion someone is before we help them. We ask what they need and how quickly we can get there. Both of Rabbi Moshe Margaretin's parents, his Bubby and his Zaidi, were each separately saved during the Holocaust by righteous Gentiles. That's one of the reasons that has inspired him to step up to the plate during crises and help Afghans during their time of need. It's called Hakaras Hatoiv. It's something we all know and live and need to show more of. That is how you make a difference. When people in the Ukraine faced bombardment and chaos, Tzedek helped at the forefront to organize 33 ambulances to evacuate the vulnerable and those people in danger, lives who otherwise may have died. That's what pikuach nefesh is, and then what Tzedek responds to. People who have real pikuach nefesh issues. Multiple times in Israel, with multiple events, Americans and other people were trapped in Eretz Yisrael in harm's way. Tzedek arranged evacuations from war zones when nobody else was able to do so, including governments. They coordinated with members of Congress, the White House, and other foreign governments. And they were able to bring hundreds to safety within hours of a crisis happening. My friends, this isn't done in the headlines. It's called getting actual results, quiet diplomacy, and doing things quietly without any fanfare. That is what an example is of what makes a Kiddush Hashem in the purest form, showing the world what it means to live as a Jew, committed to justice and compassion. The image of Jews leading humanitarian efforts, I can tell you from personal experience, saving lives in Afghanistan, Ukraine, other areas, dismantles one of the ugliest truths that people want to say, that Jews only care about themselves. We don't. We are a Am HaNivchar, we are Neres L'Hoyer, and we show the world what compassion and humanity is. We showcase that the Jewish values are a blessing and a light to the world and to the entire nation. And people notice. They notice, and I ask all of you to take this to heart. People notice how you act. They notice how you are when you go to shul, how you deal with people in your communities, and they notice in the halls of Congress. And when we all stand together and we do these kinds of acts of chesed, I can assure you firsthand they notice in the White House. As someone who's been involved in Tzarchei Tzibur my entire life, I can tell you that people in the highest levels speak about Tzedek, and they know that when a crisis hits, whether it be in a war zone or whether it be in a prison cell, that if Reb Moshe Margaretin is putting his word on it, something will happen. He is one of the key and influential leaders in America today. Not because he's looking for influence for his own sake. I think anyone that knows Reb Moshe can tell you he does it be'anivus, with humility. He does it because he's dedicated his heart and soul to helping others. Whether it be a refugee halfway across the globe or an American citizen needing justice, his work. And I can tell you, for those of you that don't know, I can reach him day or night, and he can reach me day or night. But I can tell you that there never is an off button when you are involved in Tzarchei Tzibur at the levels that we are involved in. But again, this isn't the work of one individual. It's not just the work of Moshe Margaretin. It is in the work of all of you, staff, the team, the volunteers, the supporters. Most of you and some of you are in the room here today, but I want to acknowledge for a minute those of you who visit the incarcerated and the prisoners every week, week after week, and I know it's with a tremendous sacrifice and sometimes even far from home. You don't realize the strength that you give these inmates. You show them that they're not forgotten. You show them that they have dignity, and in doing so, you emulate the best of what we are as a nation. In an age where anti-Semitism thrives because people want to lie about who we are, and they spend a lot of time not to deal in the truths, but to deal in lies and spread lies, Tzedek's work is a great, unshakable counter-narrative to these people. You are telling the world what Judaism really stands for, and you're showing them in real time, in the most urgent and sometimes in the most difficult of situations, that we are a unique and special nation. As Special Envoy and Ambassador at Large, my role is to build alliances, advocate for policies to benefit the Jewish community and protect the Jewish community, and probably the hardest part of all is confront those people who are purveyors of hate, who lie, who spread untruths, and who don't care about the Jewish nation. But I will tell you this: no policy, no speech, no legislation will ever be as persuasive as an image of ambulances pulling people from the rubble, or Jewish organizations organizing where refugees are able to leave a country and brought to safety. And that's where Tzedek comes in. It's not about talk, and it's all about action. It's about moral leadership, and that's the living Torah, Torah Sachayim. It's a Kiddush Hashem that goes across and echoes across all borders. The founder of Hasidic philosophy, the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, said over 250 years ago, a little candle, a little candle, lights up an entire dark room. It dispels darkness. We are living currently in a time that has a tremendous amount of darkness in the humanity today. But Tzedek is part of the light against the darkness, of fighting the darkness of anti-Semitism, against the darkness of persecution, and against the darkness of human suffering. Tzedek shines brightly and courageously and without any hesitation. So for those of you in the room, every life you save, every injustice you correct, and every act of compassion that you show dispels the darkness that our Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh taught us. So to all of you in the room today, my challenge to you is the following. Let's continue to meet hatred with action-founded love, prejudice with compassion, and lies with the truth. Let us all educate everybody to respect everybody. Let's confront the darkness with light, and let us continue to show the entire world that we as a Jewish nation are not defined by those who hate us, but we are defined by the acts of chesed, by the good that we do for the people and of all people. So Rabbi Margaretin, to you and your incredible team, thank you for letting me be a small part in your mission. Thank you for reminding the world what it means to live with the value of tzedek, with the value of righteousness every single day. May God bless you. May He protect all of us in harm's way, and may He strengthen all of us. And may HaKadosh Baruch Hu give all of us to strengthen the fight against anti-Semitism and the work that we all do in repairing the world. It should be blessed with tremendous hatzlacha. Thank you so much.